Hello everyone, it's Dorian here. I hope all of you are doing well. Today we are going to be looking into the original Xbox emulator called Xemu, or is it Xemu? Anyway, we're also going to be setting up the Xbox Live replacement free service called Insignia with over 160 different games available to be played, both on original hardware and through the emulator. Alright, let's get started. One quick note, your mileage may vary depending on your computer hardware and the game compatibility list. So be sure to check out the Xemu's website. I'll have it linked in the description and you can read up more about the certain games that are compatible and what the playability is. Alright, to get started, what I like to do in preparation is on your desktop, create a new folder. I'm going to call it Xemu Windows Guide V3 just because why not. I'm going to open this up here and then we can go back to our Xemu website, which is xemu.app. I'll have the link in the description. The original Xbox emulator. I am going to download for Windows, but if you are on a different platform and it doesn't automatically detect, you can click on alternative download options and you'll be seeing Windows, Mac operating system, even on a Linux as well. But because we are on a Windows-based platform, I'm going to click on download for Windows. Now that this has popped up, I am going to drag and drop, open this here. That's looking good. And then in preparation, I particularly like to create folders for the specific files that you will need. Unfortunately, I cannot supply those particular files like the BIOS, the HD image. Those things are particularly proprietary and copyright material from Microsoft. But I will say your search engines are your friends. So I went ahead and created a flash ROM BIOS folder, Hexen, which is going to be our Homebrew ISO file to install the dashboard. We got the MCPX boot ROM folder, the pre-built hard drive folder, Xbox DLCs, as well as Xbox game ISOs. And I cannot link any Xbox game ISOs. You will have to do your own research on that. But I will include a overall setup where you can download this folder structure like I put together, and then you can procure the particular files that you're after. And the first thing what we need to do is actually open up xemu.exe. So we're going to open this up here. Typically, if it's your first time loading up Xemu, you will see this screen as well as a Windows firewall pop-up that usually comes up. It'll ask you if you want to allow the connection through a private or public network connection, and yes, you will want to accept and allow it at least for a private connection, specifically if you're at home. But mine didn't do that. I've already done this in the past, but I'll have an example on screen. Anyway, now that we're on this screen here, we need to configure our machine settings. So the first thing we need to do is go out and click on settings. This window will pop up here. So we're going to need the MCPX boot ROM. All right, so we're going to open this up. We're going to open up the folder called MCPX boot ROM. There is our particular file we're after. So we're going to select on that and hit open. You can see that's all good there. Now we need the flash ROM BIOS. So we're going to go back into our Windows Guide V3 folder here. And then we are going to grab the flash ROM BIOS. The particular file is called complex_4627. So we're going to open this up. So that's going to be set up for this file. And then now we need the hard disk image here. So we're going to go open up our Xemu Windows Guide version 3 and then go to our pre-built Xbox hard disk. And then here is the particular file we're after, the Xbox_HDD. So we're going to select that and hit open. Now, the last thing I like to do is go into our network. And then by default, You may have to play around with other settings, but for this demonstration purposes, I haven't had any issues so far. But please let me know in the comments if there's any issues with connections. But simply what I do is go to enable. And then now that the virtual network card is now activated, that's all looking good. So we can close the settings window here. And now we can actually fully close Xemu. And then we'll be back on this screen here. We can simply double click and open up Xemu again. And there is the original Xbox Classic boot up splash that never gets old. Anyway, so now you'll be greeted where it says, please insert an Xbox disc. Well, before I get ahead of myself here, maybe one thing that I would highly suggest if you haven't already, I'm personally using a DualShock 4 authentic Sony controller to make sure that mine is all good and connected. I'm just going to go into our settings here, check our input, and as you can see, mine has the PS4 controller. Yours might say Xbox controller for Windows or Windows Xbox controller, Logitech controller. Basically, you just want to set this up. And again, with Xemu being a modern emulator, it automatically would do the binding, having known the DualShock 4. So that's all looking good. So if we can close this up. And then now what we need to do is insert our Homebrew ISO file, and I'll show you why. So what we need to do is go to load disk, and then we need to go back into our Xemu Windows Guide version 3. There's our Hexen folder, and then True Hexen 2021 ISO. So we are going to hit open, and then now we need to go back up to the top left corner where it says machine and click on reset. This will reset the emulation, and we should now be booted into Hexen Heimdal. So now that you have Hexen Heimdal booted up, we'll now have to go to option number 5. We'll press X. Again, I'm using a DualShock 4 Sony controller, so I'll be pressing X. And then we'll go to 5-2, so option 5.2, which is dashboard repair tools. So I'm going to press X. And then now we want to pick option 5.2.2, restore HDD to stock. So I'm going to select this by pressing X, and then I'm going to hit yes. So that's no, that's yes. So when it's gray, that means it's yes. So I'm going to press X. And then, yes, this is going to format all my partitions. That is fine. So I'm going to hit X again. And then it says, Unleash X has detected a new hard disk. Do you want to format? Press both triggers and the start button. And again, I'm using a DualShock 4 controller. So I'm going to be holding L2, R2, and then pressing the options button, which is currently the start button. And then it's giving us another warning here, make sure you know what you're doing, but because it's a brand new clean slate Xemu install, this is fine. So we're going to press L2. We're going to be holding L2, R2, and then pressing start, which is the options button. It's going to be formatting our drives here. And then what I am going to do, it's asking, do you have drive F? So I'm going to do is I'm going to press both triggers and start to format it. So again, left trigger is L2, R2, and then press the options button at the same time. Formatting. And then, okay, we're going to have to do that one more time. Hold L2, R2. Those are the left and right triggers. And then press the options button, which is our start button. And then we are going to let the magic happen. It's going to be copying over all these data files. Now that all the data has been copied over, simply just grab your mouse, go to the top left corner to machine, go to eject disk, and then now we can click on back into machine, scroll down to reset. And now we'll be greeted with a message saying about Xbox and the internet connection. So that's looking all good. We do have our dashboard here. So that is all good. The next thing, what I particularly like to do is setting the date and time, making sure that is set up to your right current location in the world. So because this one says it thinks I'm in London, I'm not. So we are going to scroll up and we are going to set this to Pacific time. Again, do this for your own specific time zone. I'm particularly in the Pacific time zone of Western North America. So I'm going to press X on that, and that's looking all good. And then I can double check by just bringing up our little clock here, and it says 1:20 a.m. and 1:20 a.m. on the emulator. So that's looking all good. So we are going to press circle, which is the B button in this case, again using my DualShock 4. That's looking great. So the next thing, we want to set up our Insignia. This is where the fun begins. So what we need to do is go to load disk, and then we are going to go back to our Xemu Windows Guide version 3. From here, we are going to select the Insignia Setup tool, which is the Insignia Setup Live Assistant to get your Xbox or emulator connected and information exchanged with Insignia. So let's get to this started. So we're going to pick and select Open. And then what I typically do is go to the top left corner, which is Machine, and then go to Reset. Okay, everything is looking great here. Now we can use our D-pad here to navigate through the options. Simply, the next step is go to Register Xbox. I'm going to press the X button on my DualShock 4. And right now, it looks like nothing is happening, but rest assured, stuff is happening in the background. Okay, there we go. That's what we want to see. Your Xbox was successfully registered. So we are going to press the X button, and that's okay. Now from here, all we have to do again is go to eject disk, and then back to machine again, and then go to reset. Now that we're back on the original Xbox dashboard, this is where you can create your own Xbox Live GamerTag and details. But that's not the thing what we gotta do just yet. What I like to do is go into our settings one more time, go to network settings, IP addresses. So we're gonna press X in this case, which is our A button. I have everything set to automatic, that's fine. DNS servers, which is the most important number information we're looking for. As you can see here, our primary DNS, that number there, the 46.101.64.175, this is the specific server that we need to have put together because this is what Insignia currently uses on their DNS server. And of course, an alternate DNS, we have 1.1.1.1.1. So we're all good there. Now we can just press the circle button to go back, or B if you're using an Xbox controller. With this, no longer really needed in the world, I don't think. I know that I don't need to do this or anything, but I just leave that completely off. And then advanced stuff, I don't need to tinker with that out of the box. So if you're curious, this is what you can see what's inside, but we're not really doing that. That's really meant for if you had an Xbox hardware, the original console, and the little wireless adapter. So okay, so next thing, we are going to do our test. I'm going to press X on the connect button here, and it's going to start doing its network data checks. So our connection status, we have our cables connected. That's really good. IP settings configured. That's good. Okay. DNS resolved. Excellent. And then that's the magic one at the very end, connected to Xbox Live, which is our Insignia. So all those green dots that you see on the screen there, think of those as check marks. We are verified and ready to roll. So we are going to press X on done. And now we can back out of the network settings here, and we can back out from the overall settings. And then now you can access the Xbox Live tab. And then here you can get started by creating your new account. And this is where you can start creating your own gamertag. Now, right before you get started onto the Xbox Live creation, you definitely want to go visit the Insignia.live website. I'll have the link in the description down below. So when you arrive on Insignia.live, where you can see it says get connected and being the free replacement to the Microsoft original Xbox servers, what you need to do is enter your email address right here. So in this demonstration purposes, I have an account called Xemu at email10p.org. What you would put whatever your email is, right? And then you also check mark this little box here, and you'll get your subscription code by clicking this button here. So once you've done that, you'll see an invite code will be sent to your email address. If you don't receive it, give it about 5 minutes, and also check your spam or junk mail. It might get filtered in there for some odd reason. But once you have your code, keep your code, write it down or take a screenshot or just leave it on your screen there. And then now what you can do is go back into Xemu and start creating your account. So just for further clarification, you should receive an email that looks like this, and then you'll get a code. It would not be all X's. You will have numerical values there. So you will want to take note of that. And then you can go ahead and start creating an account. All right, so I'll show you guys how to set this up and create your account. All right, so welcome to Xbox Live. We'll hit continue. I'm in Canada, so go ahead and choose your region. If your country is not listed, please select the one that is geographically closest to you, as this selection may in the future influence the priority of users you see in games. So keep that in mind. That is right from Insignia, so please keep that in mind if in the event your country is not listed. And then from here, there's the terms of use through Insignia. I accept. And then your gamer tag. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to keep mine simple. I'm going to name it Xemu. And then I'll do a shift Dorian. And then space D. That looks good. I'm going to hit done. And then this is the subscription code that you will be putting in that you would receive from your email address from signing up onto Insignia's website. Now that you've filled out your subscription code, you can hit A or X, continue. And then here are the, of course, this is being free. I'll hit continue. Yep, that's all good. I agree to that. And so at this point, all you gotta do is go ahead under the payment method. We'll select Visa. You can put any name in, but I chose to go the anonymous route, just put not real. Now for the credit card number, all you have to put is 14 and the rest of it is ones. Now for the expiration date, I'm just going to put February of 2030. Phone number, I'm just going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Again, the phone number can just be random. Nothing to worry about here. Now you will want to use the same email address that you got your Insignia Live subscription code. Now that you got the exact email that you signed up with, you can hit continue. Would you like to see? I just hit no. Personally choose no. I'm gonna hit no. And then we're gonna leave that gamer tag. What I like, Xemu looks good. And you have signed up. All is looking good to me here. So, enable voice and all that stuff. Enter your passcode. We're gonna hit complete setup. And then from here, we'll go select account, which is the Xemu. And now you're ready to play online. Now that you have the emulator up and running and your Insignia account created, the next thing I want to show you guys is how to install updates and downloadable content, as many games in the past got some. For my demonstration, I'm going to show you Splinter Cell Pandora tomorrow. Unfortunately, I'm not able to directly link where you can get the downloadable content and title updates, but again, doing a quick research for original Xbox title updates and DLC, I'm sure you'll find something quite quick. All we have to do is open up the zip folder here. I'm going to drag and drop, bring it over into our window here. So I do have a folder called Xbox DLC. And there's a program there called Qwix. I'll have that linked in the description where you can download it. I'm going to be using Qwix as a way to create this folder into an ISO. So let me show you how to do that. So we're going to open up the Qwix folder, open up Qwix. We can discard this warning here. We will go to Create ISO. We are going to look for our source, which is a local folder. That is going to be in our, let me see if I can find it here, Xemu Windows Guide V4, Xbox DLC, Splinter Cell. So you just want to have that highlighted, hit OK, create ISO. We're going to create it and save it into this particular folder here, the Xbox DLC. We're going to hit save, ISO created. All right, that's looking good. So we can go back one level here. And then you can see we do have a Splinter Cell Pandora Tomorrow DLC installer. So the first thing what we need to do is go ahead and load up our ISO of Splinter Cell Pandora Tomorrow. So at this point, we will go to the top left to machine, go to load disk, and then I made a folder called Xbox Games ISOs. We're going to open that up. There's our Splinter Cell 2. We're going to open this up. It's going to load into the game now. The reason I'm opening Splinter Cell up first is because it creates files onto the hard drive, and then once you run the ISO that we just made, it will install properly. So now that we've made it to the main menu, that's all we had to do. We had to load up into Pandora Tomorrow into the main menu. Now we can eject the disk, and we are going to load the ISO, the DLC file that we just made. So that was in our Xbox DLC folder. We are going to open up the Splinter Cell Pandora Tomorrow DLC installer ISO. And it's going to take a moment here to load up. And as you can see, here is the ISO running. So what we are going to do, we're going to update and install these maps, which is Federal Bank and River Mall. So I'm going to tap X, or in this case, the A button. All right, content copy to your Xbox. So that's looking good. And now we can go to Launch Installer 2. And then we can press X again, or in this case it would be A. Press the button. And as you can see, content copy to your Xbox. So now we have verified the install. Now what we can do is actually see it in live gameplay. So we can hit eject disk, load disk, go back, and we're going to go into our Splinter Cell 2 location of the ISO. We're going to load this up. And for good measure, we are going to reset. Okay, so now we can go ahead, sign into our Xbox Live account. And then what I'm going to do is going to create a match. And then you can see that's River Mall and Federal Bank. Those are both the DLC maps. So I'm just going to quickly explore the River Mall. And here we are in the lobby. So I'm just going to start the game. It's just me at this time, but just to ensure everything looks good. And all looks well. Everything is running good and solid. We got the DLC maps installed, the great connection to Insignia live services. We got everything ready to roll. And the last thing I want to touch upon is if you're having internet connection issues of finding people's lobbies or joining games, you might need to port forward, and I'll show you what to do. So first things first, you would want to go to your start menu, type in CMD, which is short for command prompt. You're going to open this up. And then what you want to do is type in ipconfig. And then because mine is called Ethernet adapter, Ethernet motherboard, the IPv4 address, this is my internal IP address within my local network, and the default gateway. Your gateway will likely be different than mine. This is basically allows you to access your home network's router if you know the login information. So let me show you what I mean. Now on your internet browser, you're going to type in the default gateway. In my circumstance, it's 192.168.1.2. I'm going to press enter, and then you're going to need to log in. You will have a specific password and username. So once you've logged in, now you can go ahead, and we need to make sure that this IP address, that 192.168.1.13, which is my current computer's IP address, I need to make sure that stays the same. We don't want that to change, because if we're going to update our ports, we want to make sure that that IP is locked in and nothing changes. So what you need to do, at least within my ASUS router, I need to go into LAN and then go to DHCP server. And then as you can see here, in fact, I've already done that. So there's my computer, Dorian PC. There's my IP address. And basically, we have manually assigned the IP, so it will no longer be changing. Otherwise, within a few days, weeks, months, this internal IP address could change. So we've already locked that in. Now, the next thing that you need to do, at least in my ASUS router, to port forward, you have to go to where it says WAN. And then up top here, you'll see virtual server and port forwarding. So I'm going to click on that. And then here we can actually add a profile. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on add profile. And I'm going to call this Xbox Xemu Insignia. And then now we want to select the protocol. I'm going to select UDP. External port 3074. Internal port, I'm just going to put 3074 as well. And now our IP address is going to be our computer that we're running Xemu on. And then so I can find that. Fortunately, my router is quick and smart. So what I can do is just simply pick this because I know that is my name. And then as you can see, it comes up perfectly. And now you can click on OK. And then I typically just click on reboot. There's over 160 plus titles to choose from and to play through the emulator and the original Xbox console through Insignia. I also want to say a quick shout out to the Xemu development team and the team at Insignia for allowing us to replay some excellent online gaming just like we did in the mid-2000s. If you guys enjoy Insignia and the original Xbox, be sure to check out this video up here where I go over my top 10 favorite games that are available for the Insignia Xbox platform in the year 2023. And I also want to say thank you everyone for watching, and hope you found this video helpful. And it was a lot of fun visiting the Xemu Xbox emulation that's available on a Windows-based computer. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up. With that said, thank you very much for your kindness, generosity, and support, and have yourself a great day.